This is probably the last holiday where a vast majority of Americans will remain unvaccinated.
With COVID cases up nearly 20% in the past 2 weeks, health officials are warning about a fourth wave of the virus.
We're just at the beginning of this surge. We haven't even really begun to see it yet.
COVID hospitalizations are also on the rise. Health officials blame the spread of new variants, easing of restrictions, and an increase in travel. Ahead of the Easter holiday weekend, nearly 1.6 million passengers passed through TSA checkpoints Friday, a record during the pandemic. 40% of all adults in the U.S., more than 103 million Americans, have received at least one dose of the vaccine. Daily vaccinations hit a new record over the weekend. The U.S. is now averaging more than 3 million shots administered every day. And this week, 14 more states are set to make anyone over age 16 eligible to get the shot. Deidre Sullins got hers in February, but for her mother and stepfather, it didn't come soon enough.
When I got the vaccine, I was mad. I was sad. I have lost my parents to this. I just couldn't help but think if they could have just held out.
A state of emergency issued in Florida after a man-made wastewater reservoir started to leak and is now on the brink of collapse, threatening to flood nearby neighborhoods.
Just about a mile down that road is where the leaking wastewater pond sits. Authorities say they are making some progress in draining that pond, but are urging residents to listen to the evacuation warnings because if that reservoir does collapse, it could be devastating.
The National Guard deployed to drop massive water pumps to help pump millions of gallons of polluted salt water out of the reservoir.
What we're looking at now is trying to prevent and respond to, if need be, a real catastrophic flood situation.
If breached, a wall of water as high as 20 feet and containing polluted salt water, storm runoff, and fertilizer byproducts could be unleashed.
That initial push of water would be very great. And if that wall were to give way, a full breach, then we're looking at life and human property damage as well.
Engineers now pumping out more than 30 million gallons of water every day, hoping to avoid that catastrophe. The less water in the reservoir, the less likely it'll collapse. Officials say the berms holding the water back are monitored for radioactivity, but the water being discharged is not radioactive.
Manatee County utility customers can rest assured that their drinking water is completely safe to drink.